But when I show up to my workplace, I have to ensure that I look calm, confident, composed, and in control of the situation. After 40 is when the self-realization and self-awareness starts really increasing. And that's when you actually understand that there is something called emotional well-being.
Hello everyone, I'm Tanisha along with my colleague Asraf from Moun Foundation. Today we have the privilege to interview Mr. Chirag Shah sir, India's leading transformational and leadership coach. Hello sir, how are you?
Good evening, Tanisha.
Good evening sir.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you sir. Sir, would you like to give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Sure. So I've been into corporate and leadership coaching now for the last 13 years. Before that, I've served in 2 banks when I started my professional career. And after that, I've been coaching people in various companies across India. So I have the honor and privilege to work with close to 160 companies now in India across various industries. So you have manufacturing, you have auto retail, you have real estate, you have services, you have financial services. So how can you help people become better versions of themselves? How can they become more professional in their work? How can they build their confidence, not only at a professional level, but at a personal level?
Right.
So these are some of the things that I coach people on. And of course, then there are other aspects to my work which are more towards the leadership spectrum, where you help managers and leaders, sort of carve out their own leadership styles,
Right.
become more people friendly, but at the same time keeping their focus on business metrics. So on and so forth. It's a vast field. So I've been doing this for a while now, but thank you for having me.
No, thank you sir. That's a lot of amazing work out there. So sir, what comes to your mind when you hear men's mental health?
Well, first of all, I think it's a very broad topic.
Right.
But I think it's very commendable of you and your team and the Moun Foundation to take up this initiative to reach out to people, to spread awareness, and on a topic that is so seldom spoken about. We always talk about, we hear about Women's Day, we hear about women's health,
Absolutely.
or women's mental health, or generally in mental health in general. But to see that focus coming on men's mental health is very encouraging, and I'm very happy that you and your team are behind this initiative. Coming to your question, what comes to my mind when it comes to men's mental health? I think the first thing is whether you can keep a calm and consistent state of emotional being.
Okay.
So whether your emotions are consistent throughout any situation that you are in.
Right.
Whether that situation is at work or at home, I think what matters most is, are the emotions consistent?
Absolutely.
And I read somewhere a couple of days back that till the age of 40, whatever you're doing in life is research.
Okay.
After 40 is when the self-realization and self-awareness starts really increasing. And that's when you actually understand that there is something called emotional well-being.
Right.
So, to have a consistent emotional state of mind throughout any situation or with any person.
Right.
That, according to me, is emotional well-being.
Being.
Otherwise, the opposite of that is you're volatile, or you're very mercurial.
Right.
Your mood keeps changing regardless of the situation. So that's the opposite of what I said earlier.
That's a great answer. So, what mental health challenges nowadays men face?
I can think of 3 challenges that men face. One is there are unrealistic expectations
Right.
from men, whether it's your father, whether it's your colleague, whether it's your son, whether it's your husband or your brother. There are unrealistic expectations from men.
Right.
Let's not forget, at the end of the day, they are also human beings. They are also somebody's son,
Totally.
somebody's brother.
Right.
The second is, I think, over competitiveness, that has now come in. So there is a lot of over competitiveness that they suffer from, whether it's with their peers, whether it's with their friends, whether it's with their colleagues.
Totally.
Right? The hyper competitiveness.
Right.
That is something that people are suffering from. I see it. Somebody's got something, I need to get something better. And it's not just peer pressure. It's not amongst peers. It can be with somebody far junior with you also. It can be with somebody far senior with you. So it's all over.
Right.
So this is the second one. The third one is, I think, the lack of acknowledgement and appreciation for their efforts.
Absolutely right.
And I think we as Indians suffer from this chronically.
Right.
In our families also, in our offices also. We are very quick to criticize. We are very quick to point faults.
Absolutely.
Or find faults with what people are doing. But when it comes to acknowledging people's efforts or appreciating their efforts, we are extremely miserly. So I think these are the three things that I observe when I meet people in my work
Right.
that they are suffering from. So the first one was unrealistic expectations.
Right.
The second was hyper competitiveness. And the third one was lack of acknowledgement and appreciation.
Right.
So these are my 3 points on this.
That's amazing answer. And what challenges do you face mentally?
Well, I'm in a profession that is no less than show business, right? Because when you are facing an audience of professionals who have been working themselves for 15, 20 years,
Right.
you have to come across as somebody who is confident, who is stable, regardless of what state of mind you may be in.
Right.
So I might be upset because of something in my own personal life, but when I show up to my workplace, I have to ensure that I look calm, confident, composed, and in control of the situation.
Right.
I can't go there and have a sulky face or look as if, something has upset me.
Right.
So that's a very big challenge.
Absolutely.
How do I overcome my current emotional state of being and at the same time put my best foot forward in my work,
Right.
regardless of what has happened with me? That is very important.
Right.
The third thing is, when you are training and coaching people, your energy level has to be consistent from 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening, right? You have to speak at the same pace, you have to have the same kind of gusto, you have the same kind of content.
Right.
So that again reflects on how emotionally strong you are as a person.
Right.
You can't do that if you are not in a good state of mind. It's very difficult, right? So these are some of the things that I have faced. Also, I am an extremely impatient person.
Okay.
And over the years, I have also worked on this part of my life where I have tried to, be more patient, or at least learn to be more patient, if not, shown any results yet. But I think my biggest emotional challenge is, I get upset easily if things are not up to my expectation.
Right.
People coming late or not doing things in a professional manner. These are things that I get upset about. And if you ask my family or my friends, they will write books and books about my bad behavior, so to speak.
Right.
So that's my answer.
So, like, how do you manage these emotions?
I think managing emotions is also about being self-aware.
Right.
The moment a person is aware of what they do and where they stand, they automatically know what the problem is. So that's half the battle won.
Totally.
If you are going to be oblivious to what's wrong in yourself, then it's going to be very difficult to bring any change. And I think you have to listen to the feedback coming from people around you.
Okay.
So there is always a consistent feedback coming to you from family, friends and well-wishers.
Right.
Saying, तू गुस्सा बहुत करता है,
हाँ.
तू चिड़चिड़ बहुत करता है. If I ignore that feedback, that's going to be my defeat, my problem at the end of the day, because people will walk away after a point.
Right.
But if I am smart enough to listen to that feedback, to take cognizance of it and work on it, then I stand a chance to bring that change about in my life.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm going to live my entire life being a very angry person or a chichida person.
Right.
That's not going to be a very happy life.
Right.
So I think this is how I try to overcome it. I don't know how successful I am at it, but I have made my efforts.
That's nice. So just
पाणी प्यायलं तर चालेल ना? नाही मी आणलं इकडे. आय एम वेल प्रिपेअर्ड. एक मिनिट ऑफ द रेकॉर्ड काही बोललं तर चालेल ना, तुम्ही एडिट करा. कसं चाललंय
चालेल ना, छान चाललंय सर.
उत्तर?
उत्तर पण छान चालली, मस्त चाललंय.
ओके.
म्हणजे तुम्ही एकदम खरं बोलताय.
हो.
कारण की एका लेवल नंतर ना, एका आपण पोझिशनला पोहोचल्यानंतर ना, आपण काही काही लोक प्रिटेंड करतात फक्त
हो
की एव्हरीथिंग इज गुड.
हो
आता तुम्ही तुमचं ते आता सांगितलं ना, तुम्हाला राग वगैरे येतो,
हो.
गोष्टी वेगवेगळ्या झाल्या की
हो
असं कोण सांगत नाही सहसा.
हो ना, कारण का मी पण मनुष्य आहे ना. सो ते माणुसकी दिसणं, ह्युमॅनिटी दिसणं तुमच्या इंटरव्ह्यूमध्ये इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. मी काय रोबोट नाही आहे बाकीच्या लोकांपेक्षा.
खरं आहे.
So, what barriers do you think male executives prevent saying about stress, anxiety, and other problems?
Well, you know, when you look and you're talking about anybody in professional life is what I assume, right?
Yes, sir.
I think most importantly, why people don't talk about their emotional issues is number one is the fear of being judged.
Right.
The fear that if I talk about what's wrong with me is going to lead to the other person judging me as a lesser man.
Right.
Whereas if I talk about my issues to somebody I trust and who is a confidant, the chances are they will probably show that kind of empathy for me and maybe lend a compassionate ear and give me some kind of proper guidance.
Right.
So that is one reason why people don't talk about their issues is fear of being judged. The second is, I think, because we've created such a ultra competitive environment everywhere. For example, social media. Nobody talks about their shortcomings.
Right.
People only talk about what's going well and where they are and things like that. Because if you do talk about something that is lesser in you, you're going to be judged
Right.
by the audience.
Right.
And third is, I think there's a lot of peer pressure. There's a lot of pressure why people don't really want to open up to other people.
Right.
There's a lot of peer pressure. And I think one more reason is people are feeling things. They feel anger. They feel emotions. They feel sadness. But they don't observe their emotions.
Right.
They don't understand what is exactly happening to them. They do not have the ability to analyze.
Right.
Saying, if I'm feeling something, why is it happening to me? What has triggered it?
Right.
What has led to me to come to this situation? Am I accountable for it in some way?
Right.
Am I responsible for it in some way?
Self-reflection.
Self-reflection. I might have emotional issues, but the easiest thing to do is to be quiet about it and to blame other people for it.
For it. Right.
But it takes a little bit of effort to observe those emotions and figure out how I have come to this point.
Right.
Was there anything that I could have done differently? You know?
Right.
Or were my efforts enough?
Enough.
Or did I fall short somewhere? I think this is very important.
Right.
So, feeling emotions is part and parcel of being a human being. But observing your emotions is part of being a smart, intellectual human being.
Right.
That's important.
So, proceeding further, what are the 3 barriers do you think that people in leadership or entrepreneurial face nowadays?
3 barriers, I think. One, of course, is how do you motivate yourself constantly?
Right.
How do you push yourself constantly? And at the same time, how do you push the people under your command?
Right.
Because you don't have the luxury of being in a bad mood.
Right.
You know, people, the rank and the file have the luxury of being in bad moods. People in leadership roles have to be consistently in a fantastic mood, number
Right.
one.
Right.
And that's the only way you can push people under you. So that's a very big challenge.
Totally.
Because the other problems of life, the family problems and the challenges at home, are distributed equally to people.
Right.
The second barrier I find is for leaders is dealing with multiple personality types.
Okay.
So you've got people who are very timid, very soft spoken, and then you've got the other end of the spectrum where you have people who are very aggressive or people who are ultra sensitive. The moment you say something to them, they either they get very happy or they get very upset.
Right.
So sort of navigating through this whole jungle of personalities
Right.
is a very big challenge for leaders. Right? And making sure that they all get along
Right.
and are able to produce results that can drive the company's growth.
Right.
Right? So that's the second barrier according to me. I think third barrier is um, making sure that people's expectations are met constantly. Because when somebody joins the organization, it is not necessary that everybody has similar expectations.
Right.
If you have a 30 people company, you have 30 varying expectations. Whether it's monetary, whether it's job profile, whether it's on-site opportunities, whether it's involving me in good projects, bad projects. So you've got 30 different expectations into so many genres.
Right.
Now, how does a leader manage all these people's expectations? Because he can't keep people unhappy,
Right.
right? So there is a lot of work that happens at an individual level between the leader and the subordinate to constantly manage their expectations
Right.
and at the same time get them to perform their duties well.
Right.
So I think that's a very big barrier for a
Right.
leader.
And among that, managing their own mental well-being is also
Yeah, at the same time, yourself being in a good mood,
right.
yourself keeping your own composure, not getting carried away every day with what's happening in the company, otherwise you will go mad.
Right. And what are the barriers that men in leadership face in expressing their own emotions?
Um, I think that's changing. Leadership roles, leadership positions, I think what happens there is that you have a very small circle of trust within the organization of people you trust and people who you're comfortable with.
Right.
So a lot of leaders have their own group within the organization where they can vent out, where they can talk about their issues, where they can talk about their observations. So I think that's getting a little better. People are more expressive, more open about it than they used to be.
Right.
That's what my observation is.
So changes are being done here.
Changes have certainly happened,
Yes.
and people are less conscious of speaking their heart out,
Right.
at least to their small circle, short circle of confidants.
Right. As a business coach or leader, do you integrate mental well-being in your discussions and coaching?
Well, I think mental well-being is probably one of the most important pillars of my work,
Okay.
because ensuring that people walk away from that session feeling more confident about themselves, feeling more valued about themselves,
Right.
is a very important part of a coach.
Right.
It's very similar to a doctor. The doctor's behavior, his compassion towards you, the way he talks to you makes half the illness go away,
Right.
right? Because a lot of it is related to your mental psyche.
Totally. Yes.
So 100%, 100% I integrate that into my work. You would be surprised how many people come and meet me and tell me things during breaks or after the session is over, to ring me up and say, this is what I wanted to talk to you about, but I couldn't because there were many people around.
Right.
And I guide them, I help them, I coach them on certain things. I keep telling them that if you are mentally strong, if you are happy, the chances are that you're better at your work. The chances are you're better with people and people enjoy being around you.
Absolutely.
Right? Nobody wants to be around somebody who's always sulking or who's a big sadhu.
Right.
Right? So that's a very important part. And in my own way, I have always weaved it into every session or every topic that I will deliver.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So what is the important suggestion you give to them when they are facing any challenges in their work life?
Suggestions regarding how they can be in a better frame of mind.
Yes.
I think one of the most important suggestions I've given to people is, and I think we as Indians need to work on this, is we have to get better at setting expectations
Right.
with ourselves and with people around us, number one. Because unrealistic expectations is the beginning of trouble.
Right.
My education, my skill set is X, but my expectation is X plus 100. It's a recipe for disaster.
Totally.
Right? Either I upgrade and upskill to be able to have aspirations of plus 100,
Right.
or then I need to tell myself that this is it.
Right.
That's one. The second thing I've told people, if you want to be happier, get better at setting boundaries. We are very poor at setting boundaries.
Absolutely.
Right? A lot of it is attributed to our joint family structure, because
Totally.
the concept of privacy was never there in India. So everybody wants to know what's happening in everybody else's life. So if you want to be happier, you're also going to have to set certain boundaries as to what people can do with you and what they can't.
Totally personal and professional
Boundaries. That's very important. So that is another thing. Third thing that I tell people is, which I practice myself, is exercise is not an option but a compulsion. And I so watched an interview with Akshay Kumar a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about the time that he goes to bed, and he says, क्यों ना मैं 9 बजे सो. जब मैं बच्चा था तब मैं 9 बजे सोने जाता था, तो जब मैं बड़ा हो गया मुझे हक किसने दिया कि वो रूल बदले. क्यों ना मैं 4 बजे उठ के मेरा एक्सरसाइज करूं, क्यों ना मैं 6 बजे सेट पे पहुंचूं. When I was a child, I was following those rules. Who has given me the chance or the opportunity now to change that? That's unfair. So I think if you want to be a generally happier person, you must exercise, because that's also a form of expression.
Yes.
Or play a competitive sport, right? And have hobbies. Today, if you notice, people have no hobbies other than watching reels or watching series on Netflix. They have no creativity. They have no hobbies. They can't spend time by themselves reading a book or painting a picture or doing something by themselves, which is creative or which is enjoyable. So I think this is my answer.
That's great answer, sir. What generational differences do men approach when it comes to mental health?
So you're basically referring to how have various generations sort of looked at
Yes, sir.
emotional well-being or mental awareness,
Yes.
mental well-being awareness. I can speak for the current generation because I work with them largely now in my scope of work. What I observe is the current generation is far more aware of what's happening with others and less aware of what's happening with themselves. Right? So, I believe that your real life begins when your own self-work journey begins. When you start really working on yourself.
Right.
So, first of all, to be able to step back and ask yourself, what am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? How much time do I spend on working on myself? Whether it's my skill set, my health, my physical fitness, my hobbies, my friends.
Right.
Rather than worrying about what's happening in the other person's life or where have they gone and what have they worn and what have they bought.
Right.
And whose party have they gone to? I think rather than, spending time on these things which are completely unrelated and unhelpful to you,
Right.
you would rather focus on yourself. So I think this current generation needs to take this point very seriously.
Right.
And you can have various ways to check in a day. How many hours do you spend talking about others? And how many hours yourself is a simple way to check.
Right.
So that's very important, because they can face some serious mental health issues. Massive depression, becoming very, very withdrawn, or suddenly losing interest in doing things. You can't have that when you want to build a consistent career or you want to do well or you want to excel at something. You will have to bring certain consistency to what you do. You might be brilliant in your work, but if you don't show up or if you show up in a bad mood, it's not really going to be helpful. Absolutely. So I think this is what young generation needs to think about. The previous generations, I think, were far more aware of themselves and their shortcomings or where they stood.
So what do you generally do when you want to mentally recharge or maintain your mental well-being?
Myself?
Yes, sir.
I think, so I have a very set routine, and I think a man's best friend is his routine.
Okay.
जिसका रूटीन होता है उसका सीन होता है, जिसका रूटीन नहीं होता है शायद वो किसी और के रूटीन का हिस्सा बन जाते हैं.
That's deep.
तो वो एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट है. और अपना रूटीन बनाओ, आपको people fall in line with your routine, right? They acclimatize themselves. So one is you have to have an excellent routine. The second thing is I exercise regularly. So if I'm not training people on a particular day and I have a day off, I will make sure that I'm in the gym. We have a wonderful gym in our own society, so I
That's nice.
exercise there. I play golf. Uh, I read a lot. So I'm constantly reading something or the other.
Right.
And yeah, I think these are things that I do to recharge myself. Uh, Another important thing is I eat my meals on time, regardless of where I am.
Right.
And I'm very, very disciplined about my sleep.
Okay.
So I will make sure that I go to bed early and wake up early. So this keeps me recharged and refreshed for the next day.
Right.
So these are things that I do, and nothing really out of the box. Things that our forefathers and our parents have been doing,
Doing, right.
and we are doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going and running a marathon, or I'm not going and suddenly having a exercise spurt. It's just doing the same thing year on, again and again.
Totally. Absolutely right, sir. So, do you believe that men find it harder to maintain emotional connections as they grow older?
Yes, I think as a person grows older, I think it's a question of quality over quantity.
Okay.
People will choose an inner circle of maybe 2 or 3 confidants, close people. It can be somebody in the family, it can be a close friend, whom they find comfortable enough to connect with on sensitive topics.
Right.
It eventually it comes down to pure trust. That if I'm telling you something, I completely trust you with it because I have sort of connected my reputation with it,
Right.
and I'm telling you something that makes me vulnerable to society. So you will only trust a few people with certain sensitive information about you,
Right.
and then you would expect them to be the custodians of that trust and not break it. So yes, as you grow older, your circle naturally reduces.
Reduces.
And I saw a very nice interview with Amit Seal, a very nice actor. He's acted in a couple of the shows, and he said, "दोस्त एक दो ही होते हैं, बाकी भीड़ होती है."
Right.
So I think that applies to us as we get older.
Totally.
And yep, it's quality over quantity.
Every time.
Yeah, and then you are more comfortable in opening up, and it doesn't have to be an activity.
Right.
It flows naturally. You and I are close friends. We've bonded well. There is that certain warmth. So when I meet you, the activity is not rehearsed,
Right.
right? The thoughts and the emotions just flow.
Comes naturally.
Correct. There is no ignition required
Right.
for it. They come very naturally.
And do you believe that success-driven men often neglect their mental health until it comes to a breaking point in their life?
Yes, because I think success, the parameters of success have been defined by society over the years.
Right.
Wealth creation, or advancement in your professional career, or amassing assets, or sort of climbing the social ladder are the set benchmarks of being successful, or
Totally.
possessing certain things that might be luxury goods, so on and so forth. So the focus is always been on that.
Right.
And many a times when a man is focused on these sort of criterias, he's not really looking within to check whether I am also changing as a person, and am I genuinely happy?
Right.
Right? Am I genuinely a happy person? Am I a cheerful person? And yes, and suddenly one day it dawns upon the person that, hey, I've been chasing the wrong things in life, whereas the real happiness probably lies in sitting with a friend and having a chat, or having a drink, or having a cup of coffee. And the fortunate ones at least realize it at some stage in their lives, but the unfortunate ones go through the entire life and they don't get it, that where the real happiness lies. But yes, success is important. Being good at what you do is important. Being financially well off is important because it gives you the freedom of choice. Right? If you're not successful, if you're not wealthy, if you don't have access to the right resources, then you don't get to choose. Somebody else gets to make those choices for you.
Absolutely. You get obliged to all
Correct.
those.
There are certain obligations.
Right.
So I think yes, successful men do tend to ignore these things, but over the years, then they find out that that's the answer.
So we have come to the last question of this interview.
Right.
If you could give one message to all the men watching this interview, what would it be?
Well, I think it's very important to prioritize yourself.
Okay.
Everybody else around you is attached to you because of the value you bring to the table.
Totally.
And you're able to bring that value to the table because of your skill set and your mindset.
Right.
But if that skill set or that mindset were to deplete, you don't bring that value anymore.
Right.
And if you're not able to bring that value, a lot of these people around you disappear very quickly.
Right.
Or then, the love suddenly turns into conflict.
Right.
So my first message is that men need to prioritize their own lives, themselves, their happiness. And they also need to enjoy the fruits of their hard work. Right? Yes, saving money is important, investing money is important, creating assets is important. But if I am going to put away every joy for the next day or for the next week, then I am not really going to enjoy my life because life is so unpredictable.
Right.
And we've seen, so many fatalities happening with people in young ages, 30s and 40s.
Yes. Yes.
What was the point? So while you are working, while you are saving, it is also important to take that holiday, to enjoy that restaurant, to go for that cinema, or to go and take up that sport,
Right.
or to go on that trek with your friends. So do it today. Don't put it away for the next day.
Great message, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
My
giving us
pleasure.
time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, sir.